Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Adam here with Indy Farm Life. A bit of a maintenance day here at the farm. I'm finally going to replace the busted cylinder on this old barge wagon behind me. So if you've been with my channel for a while, you know that I've used this thing to move a lot of topsoil and actually fill dirt around the farm when I was fixing the yard for the house. Probably moved in the neighborhood of 40 or 50 loads, loading it with the backhoe, and I just wore that single cylinder down there out. Seals busted out of the back of it, and it was spewing hydraulic fluid on the underside of that by the time it was all said and done. So I said replace, I actually mean pull the cylinder off and go get it repacked. Poking around down there for a few minutes, it doesn't look too difficult, but it's a very confined space. That can take an easy job and make it 10 times more difficult. The first thing I'm going to do is move it into some clean cut grass and not that tall stuff. Reason number 792 why I love my grasshopper. So I've never done this before, so you know what that means. It's going to be a very smooth process, like most things are. Kidding. However, it doesn't look to be too terrible. So let me show you guys. I believe I just got to pull, I don't know if you can even see, this pin here, which I think will decouple this top portion and the cylinder itself. It just will slide back so I can kind of drop it down. And then at the other end there is a bolt, and I forgot to get my brush release spray right there, if you can see it or not, but that bolt kind of just keeps the cylinder from sliding around left to right and in and out. Doesn't need to have much because when this thing's extending it's pressing backwards, and I think it has a little groove that it kind of sits on. So if I get those two bolts out and then obviously remove the hose, I think I'm okay. The question will be, can I lift that cylinder up and over top of this? Because I can't go down because of that bar there. So hopefully I can pull it up and over and not have to have the bed lifted. We'll see. So the pin back here came out really easy. Like I said, it was just a cotter pin. So undid that, dropped it out pretty quick. Got the bolt out at the other end as well. Drop the nut, so I'll have to get the magnet and find it in the grass. Now here's the hard part, is that this currently won't drop down or up and let this spin off here yet because there's too much length in here. So I'm hoping if I hook the cylinder back up to the tractor, I can draw this cylinder in a little bit more. It feels like I probably can, hopefully, which would then give me enough play to bring it up and out. Fingers crossed. That's not how I was hoping that was going to go. Okay, so here's my plan. Since the far end of the cylinder is loose and should just slide out when this goes up, I'm going to put a chain around the wagon itself, lift this up, which should make the far end fall out. I'll probably block it just for safety. Then I can get under there and pull the cylinder out this way. Here, baby. All right, once again, Big Green saved the day. Although without Big Green, I wouldn't even own this wagon, so yeah. All I gotta do now is pop the back of that hose off there, throw it in the truck, and take it to my hydraulics place. I'm all about doing things myself, but packing cylinders is just not one of them. I don't have the wrenches or the table to work on it to really do it properly and understand and know what I'm doing. So on the backhoe, I've taken all those things to a local shop. Actually, living in small town USA, I went to the place and found out that the guy who's been working on my cylinders is actually a cousin of a cousin's or something like that. So, all right, enough yapping. I'm gonna pop the hose off this thing, throw it in the truck, and I'll circle back with you guys when I have a nicely repacked cylinder. Also, real quick, a question for you guys. What should I do with this airport luggage cart that I have? The previous landowner left it out here, and I'm really at a loss as for what to do with it. Thought about storing firewood in it, but that seems like a waste. Not really sure. Let me show you the inside. It's a bit of a mess, but a pretty cool little trailer or wagon, whatever you want to call it. But seriously, let me know if anyone has any cool ideas for this. I'd be interested to hear them. So several weeks later, I finally have a repacked cylinder, and I just hooked the tractor up to the wagon to pick it up again. Hopefully I can remember how I pulled this off and do it in reverse. If anyone's wondering, I think it was about 370 bucks to repack that cylinder. Seems kind of high for what it is, but still probably cheaper than trying to find another cylinder that would fit this wagon. When I brought it to them, they were commenting about how old they thought that cylinder was, because finding seals can be a little bit tough. Let me show you guys what's going on here. Got the cotter pin in the front. May put a little bit longer one in there, but it's fine for now. The cylinder just needs to be turned so I can get it to actually sit down and go have the bolt go through the hole there. So I'm gonna try to get a wrench or a screwdriver maybe in this hole. See if I can't kind of turn it, because it's not want to turn by hand. Pretty tight. Need a little more leverage. So I'll do that off camera. Then all I gotta do from there is put a bolt in here and put the line back on. So I'll get all that done, and then we will see how she works. All right, so I got it all squared away. I haven't put it on the tractor yet, but we'll do that in a moment and raise it up. One thing I did want to note when I was doing this, if you guys noticed when I first started putting this together, I had this top piece where it actually pins in was down below, and so that's why I couldn't get it to line up on the front end. So I had to swing it up and then put it in up here and then drop the butt of it in. So if you're doing that, make sure your call it receiving end is up and not down. All right, let's hook this up and see if it works. I'm gonna leave it up for a minute, see if I can't find a pair of pliers and spread that back side of that cotter pin there. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but if you'll remember when I had this thing last fall, when you got to this point, it was shooting a geyser of oil up, and you can actually still see the oil marks. Huge circle or oval there in the bottom. So I'm glad to have this thing back and be operational. Might rev up and cycle it a few times, you know, just make sure it works. If you're new to the channel and you want to see this thing in action, I have quite a few videos of this thing moving a lot of dirt last year. Another thing that's awesome about a single action cylinder paired with this John Deere tractor is that I got float mode, so I can still send it down without hydraulic flow. I think it needs greased. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, come back and see me sometime. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.